So much. Well, one of our favorites in our Florida waterways is the manatee, but the sea cows could once again be placed on that endangered species list as a lack of food sources and water quality issues become more apparent. And we've been talking about the manatees starving for years now. Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley is at Manatee Park, the winter home for many of these mammals.
I'm Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley at Manatee Park in Fort Myers. This is one of the many places that manatees congregate during the coldest times of the year. But with the Gulf temperatures already right around 75, we could already start to see manatees moving upriver.
About a centimeter of fat before their muscle and bones and everything. So very susceptible to temperature changes.
For manatees, when waters drop to around 70 degrees or lower, cold-related illnesses creep in. They'll seek out warmer spots, including a power plant in Fort Myers. But with water quality in the Caloosahatchee an issue in recent years, the food sources for manatees like seagrass have also gone down a lot.
Southwest Florida has lost around 95% of the seagrass. Florida as a whole has lost about the same amount all around. But starvation right now is the #1 killer of the manatees.
And with the lack of food, Southwest Florida naturalist Rob Howe says manatees are stuck between two tough decisions.
They have to kind of decide, am I going to push through the cold and stay fed out here where the food is and the seagrass is, or am I going to go up the river to the unnatural heat source?
The lack of seagrasses has Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission working to feed manatees to make up for it. But each manatee needs about 100 pounds of food per day. The lack of food has even led to some unnatural feeding behaviors,
where they'll crawl up onto shore banks where water goes to the lawns, and they'll eat off people's lawns out of necessity.
Despite being downlisted from endangered to a threatened species in 2017, nearly 3,800 manatees have died since, according to FWC, including nearly 500 so far this year. That has prompted the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to review petitions this year to again place manatees as endangered. And upon that review, the service announced that action may be warranted.
There's just a lot more that can be done when we're protecting an endangered species. And the water quality in Southwest Florida is declining so rapidly that the more help that it can get, the better.
U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service will be conducting an in-depth status review over the next year to determine the next actions needed, including if the endangered listing is in fact warranted. At Manatee Park, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.